and in this video we're gonna talk about my experience as an intern, as a like the opportunity that I had in this summer. So I was looking for something to learn, something new, something important that can be very beneficial for my future career. I'm an international business student, and I was looking for something to better my skills, to improve my skills, and to learn something new. So I decided to be looking for something like sales. In international business, sales is very important. Since I want to be traveling for business, I want to work in exports and imports. So I started looking for that specific position, and what I want to talk about, I wanna go through like 10 to 12 questions, and I want to answer them so you can have an idea of what was like the process that I had to follow on my skill. So I decided to work in sales this summer, and I work for a company named Alder. This is a home security, and that's like a good picture of me when I was starting, and everything. So let's talk about, and then like the first question I want to answer is how did I become aware of this internship position? So I was kind of worried because this will be like my first, and I want to try to be like this one my last summer. So I wanted to do an internship. So I decided to research in Indeed, Handshake, and LinkedIn. I decided to use all these tools so I can find something. And as an international student, it's a little bit hard to find a job that gave you like a sponsorship or something like that. So I went into Indeed and I found this, and I researched like sales representative uh, internship. So I found it in Indeed, this internship. I apply in Indeed. So like the requirements, the responsibilities and everything were detailed in Indeed. It was like sales representative, door-to-door sales, and it was like about protecting families. So I decided to have like I had like 4 or 5 interviews because they were kind of like scared how I'm gonna travel, because the internship was in Houston and I was in Oklahoma. So I applied, and I went, I travel, I make the check, they pay for my flight, they were paying half of the price of housing, and I was paying the other half, but I decided to stay with my family. So that's how I get aware of this. I had before coming to Houston, I had training. It was like online training, but it was really helpful because when I came here and I went to the doors and everything, I had like a good idea of what I was going to do. So that's how I get aware. And I wanna I wanna go to the next question, and this is what was your first impression of the organization? So I was kind of scared when I would hear about this company and everything, but I said like Alder is like com security. I really want to work about sales, so I start following the page, the Instagram page and everything, and I was aware of what was going on. They were posting like motivational videos, advices that they can give to the sales representative and everything. So I would get motivated every day because I was watching those videos. They gave like give if you get like certain amount of sales. So I was like excited about it and everything. And I'm a very quote person. I really love like reading quotes and everything. So and when I sent all my information, so they post this picture that is right here, and they say like, they in the first post they say like this is our new representative and everything, so I feel special. So in the second picture, this is like the manager, so I have like many conversation with him before coming, and he made me feel like special, like I was going to do good and everything. So that was my first impression. I really was motivated about doing this, and everything. So then the other question I want to cover is like, what were like my biggest concerns before before starting this internship? So I kind of was scared about sales because like you have to deal with customers, you have to be very like extroverted, like open to person, like willing to talk a lot, because that's what like sales is about it, like convince for people and everything. So I was a little bit concerned about like the door-to-door sales because I was not going to be in an office, just like research, making some calls and everything. I was going to go like visit some customers, and I was going to go like door to door. So I was kind of scared, but I said like, okay, if I'm with someone with me, I will feel like more like safe. But I also was a little bit concerned about the schedule because like door-to-door sales, you have to go and the owners have to be home. So that was a problem with this job, since we had to work like we had training from 12 or like 11 to 2 p.m. Then we have time for lunch, and then we drive to the area we will be working, and we start working like around 3 or 4 p.m. So it was kind of scary, but for me being a girl, and everything being like in the streets, in the doors, with people that you don't know. And it was like from 3 or 4 until like 9 or 10 p.m. until it was dark. So that was a little bit concerned, but I talked to the manager, just like the manager, and he was like, you will be with someone, someone will be with you, you're not gonna be after dark by yourself and everything. So I also was a little bit concerned about like the long training. This in this picture you can see like their training room, and we had like sometimes we start like the training like at 9 p.m. 9 a.m. and then until like 12 or 1. So it was like a long training and just practicing, role playing and everything. And but it was good. It was very helpful. And like my last concern that was kind of like, it was like the payment, because they don't pay like first the first week because you are learning and everything, but then they were paying by commission. So every sale I was making, I was getting commission. So that was kind of scary because if you don't make sales, you don't get money. So, but it was something good because the way I was thinking about it, it was like, okay, I'm learning. This is an internship. At least they are giving like something, like like the commission and everything. So I also take it like as a very great opportunity to learn about sales. So that was my concerns, but then it was like it was not a big deal because I was doing what I like. We had to travel every other week. We had to travel, so we stay in Airbnbs. So that was not a concern for me because I love traveling. As an international business student, I would love to travel. So I think I feel like it was like a practice, something like that. So I also was like describe my internship responsibilities. So as I told you, my responsibility was to find like new customers. I was doing door-to-door sales, and I was also visiting existing customers that were with older, making sure that they were doing good, that they were having all like the equipment working, or if they need something. So I also my responsibility was to close deals. I had to talk to people, introduce myself and everything, but also make sure that they get a good deal with cameras, home security, and equipment and everything. So I also was responsible of the Wednesday activities. I was the only girls after a couple of days. After a couple weeks, some of the girls left. They quit. So I was the only girl. So I took the responsibility of making like an activity every Wednesdays, like going go karts, playing cards before doing like a meditation before starting um, the training, activities like that, or motivational things. So I also had to drive to the area. I have my own car, so I drive. I drove to the area. I dropped them off in their area. So yeah, that was my responsibility. And here is a picture with one of my customers. I was closing the deal. It was a good day. So I also I want to talk about my last task and progress, like the some examples that I approved. So I closed 10 sales in 2 months. So I was in this company just 2 months. The first 2 weeks, it was like with a little bit of help. The manager was helping me close the deals and everything. So I had to go through the process. But in these 2 months, 10 sales, it was not that bad. I was learning. It was my first time working in this, and also it was like find new customers was hard because people is like, especially with home protections, they say like, I don't need it, I don't want it. But it was hard to find new customers, to convince, to not convince only, but to sell like the service and everything. I also learned about communication skills. This is so important, and I think this was like the best thing I learned. So I learned how to communicate, how to make sure that the customer is good, that he feel that the customer feel comfortable with me talking to me and everything. I also achieved this goal about like traveling experience. I told you we had to travel every other week. So we stay out of town and everything. And that's something that I love. It was not like out of the country, but I start like practicing and like about traveling, making my bag, packing and going and make sure that I was getting my food, meal prep for the week and everything. So that was good. That was a good experience. Was one of my projects. It was like to do this as a job because I want to travel like for business. And also, my other task, it was like increase the company sales. So it was not that much time, but it was helpful for me and for the company since I started learning how to make sales. So the other thing about I want to talk about, it was like about the company culture. How did I feel about this? So it was like kind of scared because when we had to travel, it was like just guys. So they start like fights and discussions every day. Every morning, there's like salespersons, so they were like talking about like everything. They were like arguing and everything. The other thing about like the company culture is that there's like the power leadership. They were like trying to see like who was the most powerful, like the manager arguing with the other recus and everything. But yeah, so I really like that's like the hard part of this culture because they were all the time fighting. But the good part about this is like we had like every Wednesday we have like special activities, like fun activities. We went to go cars and doing some stuff like that. So that was good. I also love like the teamwork and helping each other. That's something like culture. Even though you are struggling with something, they were pushing you up and like keep going. They were training with us like everybody was like adding something to your skills so you can improve and get better. So there's like some pictures right here where we were working together. This is the manager and the other recue helping each other, and this is like one of the guys working with me helping me close this deal. So I also want to talk about like about my work colleagues. As I told you, it was like a very good time. We were having so much fun and everything. There were like just two girls working here, but they dropped like the first weeks. So I keep going. So I was with this six guys. We had to travel and everything, and they took care of me. Like they were nice guys with me, and they respect me. They sometimes argue a lot with me, but I learned to be like my character. That helps a lot. So I had so much fun with them, like every Wednesday when we do the activities. And something fun about this is that we usually like almost every single day morning we had like the Starbucks or something. It was good. So in this picture that is right here, I was working with them. They were like new recruits, so I was helping them like training and tell them like about my experience. So in the second picture, this guy, we were working together, we were closing some deals. And this last picture is the day we went to go karts on a Wednesday. So I also want to go like about my develop and improve skills that I learned in this internship. This is the first picture when we had like the training. So I learned about sales. I learned how to talk. I also improved my English. It was good. My communication skills get like way better. Like I know how to talk. I'm not afraid of talking to people now. I'm not afraid of asking or telling stuff. And I also learned about customer service. It's like very important to and make sure that the customer is doing good and they feel comfortable with you. I also felt like the responsibility, being on time to every training and being on time at the doors. If you have like appointments with customers, you have to be very responsible of doing that. So I also learned one of the skills I learned how to use the sales app. It's a kind of very complicated. It's like named Genesis. So you have to learn. You were able to see like the payments. You were able to see to put like all the equipment the customer wants, to check their like credit stuff and everything. And I also learned how to do like attention to details. When I was talking to the customer, I was very focused on them. I was paying attention to every single word they were saying because this was going to help me make sure that they get the right equipment. So this is like one of my customers. It was good. She was so sweet. I love all my customers. They love me. They say like, you're my granddaughter. You look like my baby or something like that. So it was a good experience. And I also want to talk about like the value, all the things that I will take like takeaways with me. And there's like a lot of things, but one of like the essentials is like being on time, having appointments and everything, and make sure that you have like the responsibility to be with the customers at the time that you set the appointment. I learned how to convince people, so I will take this with me because learn how to convince people. It will not only help me with, like in my work, but also will help me in my life. Like how to talk with my parents, how to talk with my friends, how to make sure that we do the right decision. I also learned how to do like this sales by benefit and not by features. It's very important when you learn the difference because feature is just like about the product, but the benefit is like the way you are gonna make sure the person is safe. So this is not gonna help me only like in my job, but also like in my life. Just make sure that if you're giving something, you are giving that for like the benefits, not for the feature. And my like communication, like being in this internship, it helped me a lot with my communication skills. I learned how to talk. I'm not afraid at all of talking to like random people, customers and everything. And I also learned how to smile and have a motivation. Even though I was sad, I had to be like smiling and be happy with my customers because they feel good. And if they trust you, if they like you, they buy you. So if they buy from you. So that's something I learned. It was so good. I also learned like the persistency. There were some consumers like rude to you and everything, and then like after a while of being persistency with that customer, you became friends. Even though they don't buy like the product, you became friends, or like the persistency is there. So every day I was pushing myself, like, you gotta learn these, you gotta do these. So that's something I will take with me for life. And I also want to talk about like ORU in the same page. I named this PowerPoint like this way because every single week that I was reading like the content, the book, the book chapter, it wasn't related to what I was doing, and it was good. Like all the subjects that I took in ORU so far, it was like business communication. It was so helpful, and everything, how to talk to customer, how to write emails, how to send invitation and everything. Also management and marketing, since I had to sell that idea of like the our product. So they were saying, because